It happened to the Lusitania. The ship's sinking changed the course of history. America declared war on Germany after 1,200 people went down with the ship after it was torpedoed by a U-boat off the Irish coast. That was in May 1915. The Cunard liner had sailed from New York, crowded with passengers, on what was to be her final voyage. Nobody had ever been able to discover why the ship sank so quickly and with such catastrophic loss of life, until, 70 years on, Robert Ballard's team located and surveyed her.
Okay, there's the beginning of the name. There's the L. It's the U. S. There's the I. The T. A. There she is.
That's an extraordinary moment, Bob. Good morning. Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. Hi.
There were a lot of sort of conspiracy theories abounding as to exactly why the Lusitania sank. I mean, some of them were saying that actually the whole thing was engineered by Churchill to get America involved in the war. Did you find any evidence of that?
Well, in fact, I must say, when I went down diving, I expected to prove that.
Really?
I expected, because divers had gone before me years before and said that in the bow of the ship that the magazine had exploded.
Right.
And that was the reason for the secondary explosion, that when the German torpedo hit her, it ignited all the war materials that were secretly stored aboard the Lusitania.
Right.
And that big secondary explosion was caused by that. Well, if the diver said that, I expected to go down with my robots and come right in and document it. And I arrived and the magazine was fine.
Right, okay.
It hadn't exploded at all.
So Churchill's off the hook.
England's off the hook.
England's off the hook. Thank God for that.
So what did, obviously the torpedo sank her, but why? Why did it get, you see, the point is that it went down incredibly quick.
Very fast, 18 minutes.
18 minutes?
Yeah, the Titanic was almost 3 hours.
And one torpedo shouldn't really be able to do that to a boat that size.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, ironically, it hit a coal bunker.
The torpedo hit the coal bunker.
The Lusitania was driven by an incredible amount of coal, and her whole outer side were these huge bins, these storage bunkers. And the Lusitania was almost here in Liverpool, so she had almost finished her voyage. So all of that coal had been consumed, and left behind were these dry rooms with layers of coal dust. And that torpedo smacked right into it, and it was inches away, and it ignited.
And the coal dust would almost go like gunpowder.
Just exactly.
I see.
And then rumble down the whole length of the ship and split her wide open.
Down she goes.
We've got some more film footage. Fascinating. Can you take us through this, because it's stuff that you did find on the Lusitania?
What are we seeing here?
Well, we're coming in on the bow. She's on her starboard side, and her bow is upright, and we were able to investigate the ship. The biggest problem we had was that she's festooned with fishing nets. We had to navigate amongst the fishing nets. Here's her port side, upturned and driving along in the area, again right near the bow where you saw me at the beginning of the program read her name. And this is a beautiful piece of artwork done by one of our artists who dove with us to show us as she is today, sitting on the bottom.
Why is she festooned with fishing nets? Is she snagging them over the decades?
And one of our biggest dangers was we can't see those nets on our sonar. In fact, we took the submarine right into one and trapped our divers and our artists, and it was pretty dangerous. It's a very dangerous diving on wrecks.
Well, sort of psychologically, emotionally, I mean, all your divers and yourself, you're well used to this now. You know, there's the Bismarck, there's the Titanic, but it must still be in quite a strong emotional moment when you discover a ship.
Or you discover where the bodies were.
Sure.
All of the ships I've ever found have a characteristic signature, the shoes.
The shoes.
Animals eat the flesh and the bones of the deep sea dissolve, but always left behind are the shoes of the people who perished. Pairs of shoes, and there were women's shoes and baby shoes, and
really?
Yeah.
very moving.
Well, actually, let's have a look at some of a couple of these photographs, which we're going to start off with, are actually of the Lusitania.
This is the way she looked. She was a beautiful ship. The first class sleeping compartments were gorgeous. Everyone that actually came aboard the ship, even second class or third class, had wonderful accommodations, transporting all the immigrants to the United States. And here you see, even today, the first class shower is still sitting on the bottom, perfectly preserved in the cold waters. And there are stacks of china,
Dishes, yeah.
Most of the contents of the ship,
You found the china.
there's a woman's shoe
Right.
sitting right next to the hull. A very powerful image of one of the passengers. Here's the door photographed that people tried to escape and get into the lifeboats, but she was so on her side, or so listed to the starboard, people couldn't get in the lifeboats.
Let me just see that last picture again. What are we seeing on the left-hand side?
That is the hole in the side of the ship, a door, a cargo door, and that's the real one now photographed by us. And you can see that permits us to send our robots inside the ship, and we were able to go inside the ship itself and investigate.
I'm sorry, I don't want it to be too unpleasant about it. Are there bodies in there? I mean,
deep in the ship there probably are.
but you haven't seen any?
No, we didn't penetrate into the sealed rooms, but it went down so fast. Yes, there are people sealed in that, and I've always viewed these ships as tombs.
Yeah.
And I've never taken anything from them.
Some people have, though, from the Titanic.
Particularly, big controversy over that. I just don't think I want to take someone's wallet away from where their body used to rest.
No.
Also, I see the future of technology. We do a program here in Liverpool called the Jason Project, right over at the museum, and we let children operate our robots live from Liverpool. And well, if we can do that, just imagine on the information highway down the stream, you're going to sit in your home and explore the Lusitania.
You mean kids can actually control what's happening on the seabed 700 miles away? And
thousands of miles away.
Thousands of miles. Brilliant.
We've actually got here on the dock that there is actually one of the salvaged propellers.
Yes,
From the Lusitania.
That's
it. That's right outside the museum.
That's right now.
Right now, it was brought up by a group of salvagers, and fortunately, the museum purchased it before it was turned into golf clubs.
But that kind of salvage,
What they're going to do with it?
Really?
or teaspoons or something. I mean, but that kind of salvage you're happy with, are you? I mean, bringing up the metal.
I was just diving on. 2 weeks ago, I was on Titanic's sister,
Yeah.
the Titanic, which was sunk during the Battle of Gallipoli, and nothing's been removed from her. And to sit there with those beautiful propellers still attached to the ship,
It's better.
that's better.
Yeah.
I know, we saw the pictures of the chandelier in the Titanic last time you came in and visited us. It is strange and very moving, actually.
Well, it's a time capsule. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing a slice of history preserved, really.
Preserved and you hope for future generations.
And unlooked on most of the time.
Well, all those pictures that you just saw are in Robert's book, Exploring the Lusitania. It's a fascinating adventure. I wonder what you'll get next. What is the next
project?
What are you going after
We're going
next?
to search for ancient history along the trade routes of Rome in deep water, and hopefully in a few years we'll show you some of the truly ancient ships that are equally well preserved in the deep sea.
The Phoenicians, the
Phoenician, Roman, Greek.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That'll be something.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonder if you see any shoes, sandals.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you very much indeed, Rob.
Pleasure.
Thanks for joining us.